This is the worked answer to the Unit 6 test, question 4. This question is about a boat that travels from A to B and then from B to C. The displacement from A to B is minus 28i plus 80j. The displacement from B to C is 130i plus 15j. So the first thing I'm going to do is draw that scenario. So I'm going to start with position A, and I'm going to draw the vector minus 28 plus 80. So although I don't need to draw it perfectly, I do want to show it going left and up. So this is minus 28i plus 80j, and that takes me to position B. From here I'm adding a vector 130i plus 15j. So again, I don't need it to be perfect, but I do want to show that 130 is bigger than 28, so it's going to the right, and 15 is less than 80, so I want to draw it coming slightly shallower. Maybe something like that will work perfectly. And this vector takes me to C, that was B, and this vector is 130i plus 15j. So let's have a look at what the question actually asks us to do. Find the total distance travelled from A to C. Find the angle vector AC makes with the unit vector I. So the first part, find the total distance of the boat travelled from A to C. When I first done this question, I've done it wrong. I found the distance from A to C. I found the displacement. The boat is asking for the question is asking for the distance of the boat. So what they actually want to know is this distance all the way to here. They want to know the path that was actually travelled. So what we're going to need to do is say that the total distance, and I'm just going to call that d total, is equal to the magnitude of AB plus the magnitude of BC. So in other words, do Pythagoras of this, get the length of this, do Pythagoras of this, get the length of this, and then add them together to get our total distance. So it's the square root of minus 28 squared plus 80 squared. So that will give me the distance of AB, which in fact I did work out as 84.75. And do the same for BC. So it's the square root of 130 squared plus 15 squared, and that gave me 130.86. And if I add the distance from AB to the distance of BC, I get my total distance of 215.62. This is the answer you would get if you add the two vectors. I've not added the two rounded values. Okay, the next question is actually asking you about vector AC. So it is now a question about this vector. So the first thing I'm going to do is work out this vector. So all I'm going to do is say this vector is this one plus this one. So minus 28 plus 130, that gives me 102, plus 80 plus 15 is plus 95j. So the vector AC is 102i plus 95j. So in part B, I have this vector that looks something like this, AC, which is 102i plus 95j. They want us to work out the angle this vector is making with I. So they want you to work out this angle here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a right angle triangle, and I need to work out this angle. The opposite is 95, the adjacent is 102, so tan theta equals 95 over 102. Tan inverse, so theta is tan inverse of 95 over 102. Type this into a calculator and we get an angle which is 42.96.